What's up, and welcome to another episode of Mommy Needs a Break. It's a podcast for moms who are tired, because that's why I look like this today, y'all. And if you're listening on any of our audio podcasts, you might want to go over to the video on YouTube so you can see why I'm looking so terrible and tired. But other than that, this is Mommy Needs a Break at MNAB Podcast everywhere. I am one of your hosts, Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop.
And I'm Marisa Johnson, and she is Marisa J. Sorry. Make sure to follow our website at mnabpodcast.com, and make sure to be a Patreon, not a Peloton. Last week I said join our Peloton. No, actually, I got so many requests on Peloton this week. And it was because I said, yes. I was like, who is this? And then I remembered I said, join our Peloton. But anyways,
that's
join
cute.
our Patreon. I was like, you don't want to follow me on here. Join our Patreon, subscribe on YouTube. Today we have a lovely guest, Megan.
Okay, so you see this dude here? This is my brother from another mother. He is a comedian. He is hilarious. I don't be laughing at all his jokes, but most of them, I would say. He is an amazing host. He's my former co-host of the Drop on All Deaf. If you watch All Deaf, you've seen him on a lot of the content there. And he is a husband and a father. And he also has a tramp stamp on his back. We'll get into that later.
What?
Y'all give it up for my brother Tahir more.
Why? There was no need for that.
That is a great intro.
It was up until the last statement.
Look, you better be proud of your tramp stamp on your back.
Like the whole back?
It's two guns that go downwards.
Wait, how have you seen this?
Girl, because he got a wide back and the shirts don't be fitting over his back appropriately.
It's known. It's known. And then I always used to take my shirt off in videos too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a sex symbol for the bigger guys.
Okay.
Represent, you know what I'm saying? Regular bodies out here.
You guys.
But it was need to know basis type thing. Like, it's not something for your fans to just
hear.
know.
All of the content where you didn't flipped over. What was that? We were trying to do Olympics in the office one day. You remember that?
I don't think I was there that day, because that was the day y'all went out and raced and you beat them.
No, not that day. It was another day.
Wait, Megan beat them at what?
She beat them at racing, and she had on boots, and they had on tennis shoes.
I did. I had on Forever 21 boots. Now, don't ask me to do that now, because Lord knows I ain't about the.
Who did you race? Doughboy and who else? Was it Kev?
Oh, stop.
Kev almost lost to me.
Okay.
Doughboy lost, and then Kev almost lost. And I was like, wow.
Stop. Okay, guys, before we get into all the tramp stamps and all this other crazy stuff, this segment is called Ain't No Shame. It's our mommy confessions and daddy confessions, where we basically don't judge each other. We kind of just tell us our shameful moments about us raising our children. So today, Megan has a shameful moment with
I feel like I need to stop giving these out, because y'all starting to judge me too much in the comments. Ain't no shame in letting your kid pee on the porch.
What?
Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you don't care about the property value, why should anybody else, man?
Boom. And it rains, so then the pee's gone. So yeah, basically, I just came back from my parents' house in Kentucky, and we're in the process of trying to potty train Mav, and my mom, I mean, it's the country, so she just was like taking his diaper off and like, run free, man. So he just outside. I'm like, why my baby ain't got no diaper outside? And he's on the porch just playing with bubbles, playing with water, playing with the hose, like just having a great time. And then I'm seeing all these little like spots everywhere on the porch. I was like, is this pee? I was like, oh my gosh, it is pee everywhere out here. He just had a time peeing on the porch.
You're raising your son to be a hood rat. Okay, he's gonna go out there. He's walking around Winnie the Pooh style and peeing everywhere. You're raising him to be a hood rat, and it just kind of shows that you still have some hood rat issues that you are dealing with in your life. And I'm not here to judge. I just want you to embrace who you are as a person. You're a hood rat.
Remember, this is not a shameful period of time. We don't judge.
It's about embracing who you are as a person.
Here,
I'm a hood rat. I love hood rat things.
I'm sure you've peed on a porch or two or 10.
I pee off a porch. I don't typically pee on the porch. You gotta walk on there.
I mean, he's little. He can't really pee off the porch yet, you know.
You just gotta
Did the neighbors see him? Like, did the neighbors?
I don't know. I mean, it's like they're kind of far. Like in the country, your neighbors they're not like right up on your house like the subdivisions be now. So they're like far, but I don't know. I really don't know. But I was like, Mom, like put some pants on him. And she was like, oh, he's a baby. Nobody cares. I was like, I care. No, put some pants on my baby. But the funny part was, so in the house, that's one of the ways you can potty train is like you just let your child not have any bottoms on, right? And he had his baby potty like right next to where he's playing. He knows where it is. He's used the baby potty a couple of times. Y'all, he kept running past the baby potty trying to get out the back door to pee on the porch.
Outside?
Yes, he kept trying to go out there like, I'm not peeing in this potty. I'm peeing on the porch. And kept peeing like right on the floor, right inside next to the door because he couldn't get out the door. And I was like, bruh, you just literally passed your potty like 4 times and you just keep peeing by the door like, oh, I need to go outside and pee on the porch. Man.
He wants to stand up and pee. He ain't got time to be sitting and squatting.
Oh, he does. He does. We teach him to stand on his little baby pot, like stand in front of it.
Okay.
Because it's low enough where he just, he can, but he don't care. He was like, I don't want to pee in this little circular thing. I want to pee on the porch.
I think all kids do that because my daughter, she won't pee. She pees on her own terms. If I tell her to do it, she won't do it. She still poops. She'll pee in the potty, but she'll go poop in the corner. And it's because I'm always enforcing pooping, like, do not poop on yourself. Do not poop in your pants. And she goes, does it anyway. So the peeing, we got it. We got the peeing down. It's just the poop. The poop, if you go see her hiding in the corner or she runs in her room, she's pooped in her tent, in her crib. Like,
but wait. Are you talking about like while she's wearing a diaper or she just like, this is
she don't care.
Why?
Whatever. She can be naked. She can have panties on, diaper, whatever. She just poops on herself. If she pees, she will do anything she can to get her pants off to go pee. But pooping is like, nah, I'm cool. I'm just sitting right here.
Do that in a safe space. That's what the tent tells me. She needs a safe space in the corner, feels secluded enough where she's like, yeah, can nobody sneak up on me while I'm doing the business? No.
What is that? I feel like dudes have to take off their whole clothes. Like they got to get so comfortable. They got to be in a safe place. And here's Halo like, yes, I need to go in my tent.
I got fuzzy socks for when I take a poop. Gotta put the fuzzy socks on. I get comfortable, man. Get my newspaper. I got some Kenny G playing in the background, David Sanboy, Najee, all of that. Smooth jazz, man. It's a good environment.
What? Are you over here making love or are you over here pooping? What?
I got sage burning.
Sage burning?
Get the demons out.
It's so much. Take a crap. Take it out.
Wait, so do you have any shameful parenting moments?
I'm just trying to think which one won't get me locked up.
We have to think about that every week.
Right.
So my daughter had got to the age where I couldn't like whoop her because it didn't feel natural, like because she's always been tall. So I think she was like 11. Yeah, maybe about 11, 12. It was at that point. I was like, all right, I can't whoop her no more. And punishment wasn't working, and yelling wasn't working. So I used to work at a jail and tossed the room like a jail cell. Tossed it.
Wait, you did what?
I've heard this time. I'm like, I cannot believe it.
Like an inmate. And I was like, well, you don't want to act like a civilian and act civilized. I'm going to treat you like an inmate. So I flipped the bed, box spring, grabbed everything off of the hangers, threw it on the ground, and all the books off the bookshelf, broke the TV, broke some toys, and like somebody had ramsacked the house and was looking for something. But it was just me. It was just me. And I was like, you got to clean everything up.
And the worst part of this?
Broke the TV.
The worst part of this story, Marisa, is that he did it when she was gone and closed the door. So when she got home and opened her door.
I had to find something that worked because nothing was translating. I was talking to her. She was just like, yeah, all right, nigga. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. She wasn't doing that, but like that was her accent.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me try this.
Did it work?
Yeah. I mean, I've tossed it, twice now?
Oh, she's there. Oh, Lord, poor baby.
She got no shame.
Twice, but we haven't had any problems like that in a while, though. It was just, her testing the limits. The kid gonna be a kid. And, now she's more mature. She gets it. She understands. So, like, I haven't had to raise my voice at her in so long because she's 14 now. So only thing I have to get on her about is, like, walking this dog that I hate, that they, like, so adamant about keeping. Mm-hmm. I do hate him. I could do without them forever.
Oh my gosh, Kendall, if you need us to rescue you, just stick your hand.
There's nobody to rescue her. She's good. Ain't nobody gonna hold and feed her the way we do. She's straight.
We love you, Kendall. We will come get you.
Yeah, the only person that might need to be rescued is BMO. That's what she said. She said she's good. Dog. You can have him.
Yeah.
Tahir's daughter is like, she is such a good kid. I remember, so one time Tahir asked if I would watch his daughter for the weekend because him and his wife were like headed out of town. And I'm like, sure, because, you know, I'm a good babysitter, right? But I was just like, oh Lord, am I gonna have to whoop her? Like, what kind of situation is this?
What?
I don't mess with no bad kids, right? So I was like, oh Lord, like Tahir's my coworker, and I don't know, like, is this gonna be a bad situation?
Nah, if I knew, because I ain't never wanted to shy away from telling somebody their kid bad. Like, if I had met Farron and Kendall was a completely different kid, I was like, oh, this ain't gonna work.
That's funny. That's funny. I was just having a conversation. I know I'm getting off track, but in our neighborhood, there's about 15 kids, and all these kids been quarantined, and they're all home. So when one comes out, they all come out. And I don't know who watches them. I never go out unless Terrell takes them out, and he's with me because I have the baby. And I went outside yesterday with my 2-year-old, and these kids were just all out in the street. I'm like, who is watching these kids? And I text my neighbor like, hey, are you home? Your girls are out here. Oh, I'm out. Their dad's supposed to be out. Dad was nowhere to be found. Then my neighbor, I guess he was working in his garage. He was nowhere to be found. And I was like, hey guys, like, who's watching you guys? Like, oh, you are. Our parents said if there's one adult out, we could stay outside. And I was like, what? And like, just watching them like fight with each other. It was just like, you guys, I gotta go in the house and make dinner. Like, I can't.
Hold on. How old are these kids?
These kids are, my kid is almost 3, but she's the youngest. So these kids are like 6, 8.
Oh no.
Between like.
If it's more than 5 of them, they good at that point. Like
but like they were hitting on each other. One was crying, running off, crying. Like they're bossy, trying to punk each other. It was just like, oh, and then there's like, oh, you're watching us. I'm like, I'm watching.
You're watching us.
Absolutely.
I didn't sign up for this.
You ain't gonna let nothing happen on your watch, so they.
I didn't. I was texting their parents like, "Hey, your daughter's crying. Hey, I think so and so hit her." But I wasn't leaving my porch. I got a newborn. I wasn't trying to get near them, and no, I didn't sign up to watch. I can't do that.
If it's more than 4 or 5 of them, they can look out for each other. If somebody tries to come up and do something crazy, another one throw pee on them. Like, that's what we did as kids. We looked out for each other, threw rocks and pee at people.
What? That's survival skills, rocks and pee.
Don't nobody want to get pee thrown on them or get peed on, let alone get hit with 4 or 5 rocks. So, you know.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, these are more so like suburban kids. They over here telling me.
Yeah, but that's childhood. I mean, how many times were we outside when we were kids and when nobody watching us and we made it?
I used to get whooped if I walked in the middle of the street. I used to get whooped doing anything. I
can see that. You seem kind of sheltered. I can tell how precise your ponytail is on if you were raised in a very structured household. I
don't think it was structured. It was just controlling.
That's the same.
That ain't the same.
That's dressing it up. That's dressing it up. Like, no, my daddy ain't got a drinking problem. He's just a lush. Your daddy's naked. He dropped you off to school naked. He wearing a rag and no clothes. Your daddy has a problem.
To hear is so funny.
It was a lot. Yeah, I'll say that.
That is so funny. But yes, Tahir, let's talk about you as a father because I always have to laugh at you. First of all, your daughter Kendall, who you've known since were you in her mom's life when she was born?
Yeah, I was. When I met Farron, Farron was 2 months pregnant. I met her in college. So I was there throughout the pregnancy, and I was there when the kid was born. I was at the hospital, went there and everything. I got there before our family got there. And so, like,
for real?
Came, like, all right, nigga, thanks, bye. I was like, you right. Just a waiting room at that point. But yeah, I was there from jump.
I love y'all's story. And then what happened like after that? Because y'all didn't date for a while. And then like, what was that story?
Yeah, we were on and off because the bio dad was like, yo, I want to be a kid, like all of this and stuff. And he dipped. And but then she ended up transferring. And so we lost contact for a couple years. And then we got back in contact right before I left for LA in 2009. Yeah, 2009. And then in 2010, we lost contact again until I went looking for her in 2012.
You went and got your blessing.
You went looking for her.
You went and got your blessing. And you are a really good dad to Kendall, even though I'd be like, oh, poor baby, I'll come get you and save you. You're a really good father though, because I appreciate your honesty with kids. I like that kind of parenting style. Like you're very honest. You don't sugarcoat anything with her. You're very
I want her to know what she's gonna be up against because she's cute, she's tall, she has a look, half her head is shaved, she still got the locks. They're mad long right now, so she got a look. But I'll be trying to tell her, hey, just because you're cute don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, a lot of the world is still gonna see you as a black woman, and that's gonna be too negative. So you're gonna have to work twice as hard. You're gonna have to prove yourself in twice as many situations than your counterparts are. Unless we see some major shift within the next 10 years, this is what you're facing. So don't think that you're cute. So cute that you ain't got to do no work because you still got to work. So
for sure,
she still got chores and she still got to get up at a certain time. I know it's summer break, but hey, man, if I'm up, you up.
You're like
summer break.
Like my father. I feel like that's how my father.
It sound like my dad.
We had to do like summer. We had to do summer book reports. Like I was like, what?
She's in a coding class right now. She was like, summer. I was like, nah, you got a coding class, huh? Oh, the coding class ends today. And we got something else tuned up for her right now.
Something lined up.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Down here getting a double chin. She'll just be laying down, just eating. I go in her room, it's empty fruit snacks, old bowls of cereal.
It's quarantine.
Nah. Then she started stealing my stuff. Like I'm big on candles. Like I love scents. You know me, man. And I'm going in the candle because when I go to Target, I go buy all of this one scent. All of them. I will literally leave out of there with like 40.
Wait, which one is it?
It's the Snuggly Sweater by Chesapeake Bay.
Oh, I gotta. Okay, let me go smell this now.
It is fire. And I'm going into the cabinet to grab. I'm like, where my candles going? I go in her room, 6 empty candles. Nah, it was more than 2. It was 3.
6.
It was 3, but that means there's 3 that I found. How many did I not found in your room? Yeah, all right, yeah. Yeah, sure it was.
This is why I love their relationship. It's so funny.
So she not even telling me she's stealing from the stash. She just like going in there. And I got her burning oils for her room. I got burning oils and I got her a plug-in. So I'm like, why are you touching these candles, shawty? We ain't talking about nothing. Now I got to buy 2 candles when I go shopping because she'll be dipping in my stash. I'm like, bruh, you got your own money. You want to spend money on games. She want add-ons for Sims and all of that. I'm like, you could...
Right.
$40 on sales, you could have racked up on some candles.
But why she need to buy them when she just take yours? You got 40 Snuggly Sweater candles. You don't need all those. You didn't even notice they were gone.
First of all, grown folks talking, so that's number 1. Number 2, Meg, because they're mine. Okay, she got a birthday, she got Christmas, she got just cuz gifts, and she gets money. So if any one of those 4 instances, she could say, "Hey, let me go ahead and stock me up on some candles and get my thing going." I have to create a zen area when I'm working, Meg, and that includes my candles of a certain scent, a drink or 6, and that's how I create the creative environment.
Dang, Megan, you call me crunchy. Let's rest.
No, Tahir's an old man. He is an old, dapper man. Okay, when I first met him, I thought he was in his 40s because of how he acted. Little did I know he's only a month older than me. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, we the same age? Yeah, why do you act like my father? Like, why are you so old acting? Yeah. The funny part about Tahir has always been an old man. Like, always. Like, the stuff that he likes, the stuff that he does, I just be like, you old. He gets like wingtip shoes. I'm like, what?
Okay, when you describe it like that, it sound like I'm in Stacey Adams' catalog grabbing
Stacey Adams,
Steve Harvey suits from 2004. It's not like that. I
feel like there was probably when you first started this, you were probably in that category. Let's say you were.
Because I was forced to because of finances. But like, don't front on your boy now. You know, I get custom suits and I order from Taft for my boots, and I don't even before the quarantine. I thought
look this up too.
Taft is,
I know he got name brands that I'd be like, I don't even know brand to
Taft.
I be looking for gifts.
Now, calf is where it's at. Now, it's kind of pricey. The boots typically start around $250 to like $400, but it's
You don't know what her money is. Don't be. It's $250. You don't know what how long
okay.
her paper is.
I didn't say that. I just gave her a heads up. I ain't finna send her to the Gucci store for a T-shirt and not tell her what price.
Gucci don't like black people.
Well, I'm not saying that I would send you there. I'm just saying, like, I'm using that as an example of a high end.
Oh, these are cute.
Yeah.
You really went and looked it up?
Go look at the boots.
Always looking for gifts.
Go look at the boots, though. The boots is what I
wow. Oh yeah,
this is so funny. Okay, okay.
I got the Jack boot. Remember, I first showed you that, Meg, and I was like, when I first found the company, I was like, I'm getting all of these. I literally have just about every color in the Jack. I got the industrial. Yeah. I got the cognac. I got the brick. I have the all black. The gold tips and the gold eyelets.
The Jack boot and Starry Night. Ooh, these are nice. See, this is why I like to have dads on our show because I just get so inspired. Hey, Father's Day was hard. I was like, why not buy him?
Oh man, let me show you what these glasses I got for Father's Day. Man. Well, first of all, the kid got me a candle.
The kid.
Oh yeah, I never say her. I try not to ever say her name on camera just because, like, I know the life I signed up for. And like I know how people run up on me when I'm out with the cameras already out, drawn before they even ask for the picture. When I'm on planes, all that type of stuff. And I don't never turn nobody down, but it is abrasive. It's intrusive at times, and like that's what I signed up for. So I try to. For a while, I kept both of them sheltered away from that, so it wouldn't happen to them if I'm not around to protect them from it. So that's why I always call it that. And then one time I had her in a video, and some weirdo was like, "Yo, set her IG out. What's her IG?" And at the time, my baby girl was 12. I was on this dude page. I mean, this is the first time I can say I was like internet banging because I'm all on this in this DM. Like, who the fuck you? I mean, I'm sorry. Who the heck you think you talking to? Say, drop the location, bro. It ain't nothing. I pull up. I buy a plane ticket.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say the kid and yeah. So, but she got me these glasses.
Oh.
This from this company called Crew out of New Orleans. And this style is actually called the St. Louis, and the gold is actually 24 karat gold. In the
glass. Wow.
Oh, she loves you.
The kid got some money.
Oh, no, the kid didn't buy that. The wife bought this, right?
Oh.
The kid bought me a candle.
Yeah, she probably gave you back the candle that she took.
The candle as a peace offering for the 17 that she just stole behind my back.
She probably was like, this is the 18th one. Let me just give it back. Happy Father's Day.
Well, I'm over here looking up all this stuff. I'm really on there.
More stuff.
Half is where it's at.
Okay, Tahir, so I want to ask you this because when I met you, like I said, I was like, Tahir's an old dude. Like, he's just an old soul. The stuff he drinks his coffee every morning. Like, he just does stuff that old people do, right? So when I got to know you, Tahir, it finally made sense for me because you've been like old your whole life. Like, you've just always been one of those people that's just been old. But one of the things that contributed to that, I know, is that you were a teen father and then you weren't. Mm-hmm. So tell me that story because I don't even know if I know the full story. But when I heard it, I was like, yo, that explains so much why Tahir is a grown old man.
I had a kid at 14. It's too young to work, so I used to work at junkyards picking up cans and stuff. I started working at junkyards when I was like 8 with my granddad and all them. So they taught me how to pick up cans, how to strip cars of aluminum, break down alternators and carburetors for the copper and all of that. You know, you fill up this big barrel and then you take it up and they'll cash you out. And you can do that a couple times a day if you want.
You see what I'm saying? He see an old man he over here stripping copper off of cars at 8. Like, you're the old.
So, when I had a kid, I moved out at 14 and I had to go back to doing that occasionally to, help provide for that. Then I started working at White Castles when I was 16. And so I would work like 3 to 11s or 2 to 10s. I'd leave work early. Leave school early if I had to go to work, make some money, and I get off of my shift and do my homework, try to grab the kid on the weekend or whatever. And then I would have him sometimes too, like while I was in high school and I didn't have a babysitter, so I just had to take him to school with me. And then different teachers would watch him for me throughout the day.
Wow.
Watched Miss Malden, who was a social studies and cheerleading coach, watched Mr. Raymond. I remember this. I had this Indian teacher. His name was Mr. Raymond, and this was my AP chemistry teacher. And I swore he had it out for me. He gave me a scathing grade and had really no justification for it. He was like, you don't try hard enough. I was like, you don't know what I'm dealing with. And one day I had to bring my kid up, and I had nobody to watch him. And Mr. Raymond watched my son for me, gave him toys, and I was like, you rock for me? Like, I had no idea. So our relationship changed after that. He actually, helped me, and he saw what I was dealing with, so he was a little more considerate and brought the grade up to an A. Because at first I had like a B minus, and I see it. I was like, what are you doing? I do all my work. He's like, you don't show it. I need to see all of that. So dealing with all of that, and then when I was 18, right before my senior grad trip, I got a DNA test and found out he wasn't my son.
What was when you? Okay, so I have a lot of questions. About
I was like, wait, can I ask what made you get the DNA test?
Well, the young lady was. It was just so random how it happened, and she used to talk to another guy in our neighborhood. We used to talk to a couple guys in my neighborhood at the time, and it was just always that like back of the head type thing because precautions were taken. It wasn't like I was young out here just wilding out. Like I was still cognizant of what was going on. So I was like, I still use protection. So when it happened, I was just like, how? Like how did that happen? So it was always there, but I never treated him like that. My mom never treated him, but my mom was always like, you need to get a test. You need to get a test. But again, I was in high school. I hadn't moved out. I moved out shortly after I told my mom about my son.
Wow.
So I didn't have the money, and I was saving enough. Yeah, that's what that was.
That is so. What was your? So when you got the DNA test and you found the results, what was like your initial reaction? Were you mad? Were you hurt? Were you like
All of that.
fired?
Yeah, all of that.
What
It was a gamut of emotions. It wasn't just one. It was frustration. It was feeling betrayed, feeling lied to. There was also like a small, I knew it type of, moment. It was. I was really furious though. I was really furious because I felt like I didn't know what unconditional love was because everything had seemed so conditional. Like once I told my mom about it, our relationship drastically changed. She was my best friend up to that point, but she like kind of stopped talking to me, started talking at me, and that's what really prompted me to leave. It was like I don't like the energy, so. I never wanted him to feel those thoughts that I might have had about the situation, so I never put that on him. But it definitely cleared up a lot of things that I was thinking, and I thought about, all right, well, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe I was supposed to be in this life. Then I was like, all right, well, now I can go to college. So I wasn't planning on going to college. I was just going to stay there, get a job, and be a dad, be present. But yeah, so all of that was going through my mind. And then when I confronted her about it, she was like, oh, they got the test wrong. They're lying, or you lying, all of this type of stuff. I need to get another test. And I'm like, all right, well, come on. Because everybody was going to the same people. It was 1-800-DNA type. It was the same people that Moore used. It was the same people that Gary Springer used. All of them had that same company advertised on their sites. And I'm sure if we had went to the courts, they would have did. And I would have let the courts know, like, yo, I already did this test. So if somebody got to pay for it, it should be her because I already paid for it.
Right.
But yeah, and then she like just completely cut me out, like watched me out, and I couldn't get in contact with her, couldn't find her or anything. And then tried to get back in his life. She blocked me again, and I didn't hear from him. This is 2002. I didn't hear from him or about him again until 2000. I'm sorry, the Christmas of 2008. The aunt had custody of him at that point and was like. He was a ward of the state for a couple of years because the mom had a mental breakdown. She was certified schizophrenic, and she had told the courts I lived in Miami, Florida. So they had tried to reach out to me and out there, and I never responded because I never lived in Miami, Florida. And so the aunt had custody of him to keep him from continuing to be a ward of the state. So he spent that Christmas with me, going into 2008. And then a day before I went on tour in 2008, the aunt hit me back up, was like, yo, I got a tour with my guides. They came in, they took my kids, they arrested my guy, and they sent the son back to the city that he was in because he already had a file as being a ward of the state. So they sent him back. And there was nothing I could do to get parental rights because I never responded to the courts when they were trying to contact me in Florida because I didn't know. So they put me on the books as having no custodial rights. Like I couldn't adopt, I couldn't foster him, I couldn't claim him as my own, none of that until a lawyer went to court and spoke on my behalf in family court. And you have to get somebody that's, in Florida because every state has different guidelines and different bars that lawyers have to pay. And so I would have been looking at like a $10,000 retainer just to handle the matter. And I was calling the social services in the city that he was in, trying to get some answers and trying to get some clarity on the situation so he wouldn't have to stay as state ward of the state. And I just got so much pushback from it. Like, it was like, well, it shows that they reached out to you and you never responded. So why do you want them now? I was like, well, I didn't never got that correspondence. They were reaching out in place I was never at. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot that went into that. So.
What is it that like when I remember when you first shared that story with me and I just was like, wow. First of all, like you're a very responsible man. You had to be at a young age and you did it with grace. You went to class with your son, which is like, yo, you a dedicated father. How many fathers out here are just like absent? And you as a kid had enough, responsibility to go, oh, okay, let me take care of my son. I'm taking the class, you leaving one job to go to the next to go pick him up. Like that is amazing to me. And then to know that got ripped away from you like that. When you told me that story, I think I almost cried a little bit. I was like, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to be a punk and cry right now. But like, that just made me sad because, and how many children don't have a father who wants to be in their life? And then you've got a father who's like, hey, even though I had the DNA test and you're not mine, like I'm still trying to help. You know what I'm saying? So I just applaud you for being that kind of a stand-up guy that, despite what happened, you still were trying to be in his life. The one thing I did want to ask you though was like, what did you feel some kind of obligation at that point? Like, he's been my son this whole time. I'm going to raise him. Or was it kind of like, what can I do? Because his,
technically. It was a little bit of both. I knew that summer going into 2008 that I was going to leave. I was going to leave St. Louis soon. And I didn't know where I wanted to go, but I knew I was leaving St. Louis. So it would have made it a little more difficult, at that point, having like, a 10-year-old with me. But I would have rather, face that than let him be ward of the state and not know what love is, not feel like anybody's there for him, fighting for him, So.
Do you guys ever get to see him or talk to him?
It's a weird situation because he ended up becoming a ward of the state again. And the aunt lost her parental rights because of the whole situation at her place. But she put our names down for him to be able to contact us once he turned 18. And then he ended up getting into a foster family. He got adopted by a white family. And I think he had the information. He reached out once on Facebook when we talked for a little bit. But I don't know if her family told him everything that was surrounding the story. So I don't know if he thinks I just dipped or if they told him the reality of what it really was. And then I heard a couple of years ago that the aunt, she had ended up moving back to the city because she was out here in LA, and not LA, she was like closer to the Bay Area, but that also influenced why I moved out to LA once I found out she had custody of him again. So I was gonna move out here. So she's back in the Midwest now, and I think he was living with her for a minute, but I don't know what's going on now. Like nobody's kind of really kept me in, but I'm be honest, like I haven't done everything on my point too, because at this point he's grown, so I don't know if he even wants me to be a part of it at this point. So, there's not much communication on either sides, but yeah.
Tahir, what would you tell a young man that's in maybe your same shoes, like becoming a teen father? What would you say to him based on what you've learned?
Man, have a plan. Like one of the reasons I think one of the main reasons I knew I had to go to school is because I seen my uncles and cousins attempt everything else. Like I've seen the gang banging, I've seen the drug dealing, I've seen the running numbers, women, all of that type of stuff, and nobody makes it out. Like there are very few people that make it out on rapping, and there's even fewer that make it out on sports. So it's like I got to do education. Like that was going to be my only ticket out of the hood, and I knew I wasn't going to be in the hood. I watched all my uncles, all the things that they failed at, and not calling the failures, but just all the loopholes that they fell victim to. And I was like, okay, let me learn from that. And so it's like learn from those who came before you. You know, soak up game. You don't always have to be the loudest person in the room. I actually don't like being the loudest person in the room. I like observing the room, learning, picking up game. And maybe that's what has attributed to me having an older soul is because I always hung around older people. Yeah. Like the young lady that got pregnant, I was 14, she's 17. Like I've always hung out with an older person.
Wow.
All my older cousins are the ones I hung out. I never really hung out with people my age. And so that with the amount of trauma that I experienced at a young age, having a kid, getting shot, getting set on fire, my best friend getting killed inside my house, getting kidnapped, all of that like forced me to like grow so fast, but also become numb so early. I had so many walls up because I moved out at 14. And I know as a kid, people are going to be looking to try to take advantage of me. So, like, I wouldn't take handouts. I wouldn't take, people try to invite me over for dinner or, let me help you out with something now because I don't want to owe nobody nothing. So I would say, make a plan, stick to it. Don't be so stubborn that you're not willing to soak up knowledge and give the help that people are willing to try to help you with, especially when it comes to information and knowledge. And know what you can do for yourself. Like do the research and see what options you have as far as assistance from the government and things of that nature. And also do your own research from what the young lady told me. Because I remember she was telling me that the daycare was like $175 a week when he was one. And so I'm working my ass off to try to make, my half of this money and the money for diapers and the money for bus fare to go up to see him, and clothes and everything miscellaneous like that. And so one day I happened to go up there earlier than she was expecting me. And so I was just killing some time. So I went to the daycare that he was going to and found out that she was paying $12 a month because she was on government assistance. And she was behind 2 months. I'm like,
what?
See, this is why I have I have a heart for Black men because my dad has 6 kids. And I have watched my dad work. I mean, wake up when I was coming home from the club, getting up to go to work, coming home late, and just knowing I won't call it scam, but him just not knowing, him just paying until we were even like in college, never going to court and seeing what the real amount of things were. And he was living in like a raggedy apartment his whole life. He had nothing, because he was just shoving money, just making sure, but he never checked on anything. He just always took, her word for it and gave whatever he had. And I always just felt bad for him, like just looking so tired. And I mean, now he's living his best life, but it took until in his like 40s, like late 40s to just have something of his own. And that always used to frustrate me because I used to listen like, you didn't use that money for like, what? Like, and I used to get in trouble. Don't you tell your dad. I'm like, why are you doing this to him? Me and my mom used to get into it because I never thought it was fair. Right. He was out there busting his butt and paying for all of his kids and he had nothing like to show for. I don't know. And it's always something that triggers me when I hear stuff like that.
See, we got to support our I feel like Black men get such a bad rap. You know what I mean? Like, all these fatherless homes, but there's a lot of good Black fathers out there. And I feel like you guys don't get your just due. So, today to hear, even though I'm looking a hot mess, I want to give you your flowers, your dad flowers, because
your chicken.
Are awesome.
Your beer,
and gin. You deserve it because you're a hard worker and you really, your story is just amazing. Like you've lived 1,000 lives already at this age.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to ask you was being a teen father and then being a father now. What's probably the biggest lesson that you've learned just being a father in two different type of situations?
Patience. Patience is understanding, good communication. You know, when I was a teen father, all I had to go off of was like how I was raised. You know, like violence and loud voices fixes everything, and everything can be solved with because I said so. And now it's like, you know, my daughter does something I don't agree with, I don't just yell at her. I'm like, well, why would you do that? You know, I have a conversation to try to understand what was her mindset in it, because if that's the root of it, then that's what we need to change. Like corrective behavior, like whooping, doesn't work when the child's not around you. When they get around their friends, you got to help them understand mentally why that wasn't a good decision, so they'll make the right decision next time they're faced with that same, you know, situation. So I would say patience, and then obviously finances. Finances make a hell of a difference. Yeah, as a kid, I was just doing the best I can, making $7.15 an hour at White Castles, you know.
Right.
And now, you know, I'm better. So finances definitely make a difference on that aspect. And then also like the parents working together. I think outside of like my contribution, Farron's a great mom. Like Farron's the type of mom I was like, man, I wish she was my mom, because she's so cool. She's at the age where like all the kids at Kendall School refer to us as the cool parents. All you know, they, oh my God, Farron's so beautiful. Like she gets it. She really gets it. She helped me with communication between us, but also the communication between me and the kid, because like I'm one of those people where, you know, if my parent told me to do something, I hop right to it. I saw what I'm doing, do it. Kendall does. I mean, the kid doesn't hop to anything. She does not get motivated fast about nothing, but she'll get it done. It just won't necessarily be in, you know, the time frame I want or immediately like I wanted to. But, you know, Farron had me understand, like, even with her, like that was frustrating for her at one point. But she was like, I got to understand that everybody's not going to do things the way I want or expect them to be done. But as long as it gets done in the time allotted, then I should relax a little bit and give her that leeway to make her own decisions and be her own person and live life on her own, as long as she understands the parameters and the time restrictions on things. And she still gets it done. As long as she gets it done effectively in her way, that's fine. So I had to learn that as well, because I'm one of those, I was raised one of those, what did I just say? Like, you know, I'm knocking on your door. If I got to, like, my mom had to come wake me up twice, I was in trouble. Right. So like she woke me up once in the morning, I better get back, because she got to come back in here. That's taking time away from her doing this, and the other. Even though she was late to anything and everything. That's why I started catching the bus on my own. My mom was habitually late, which is also one of the things that makes me like super, super prompt, because I hate that quality so much. So I you know, it had a reverse effect on me. I'm super on time.
Oh my gosh, you remind me so much of my dad. That's crazy.
Right. Here's Dad of the Year. Okay, I don't care what nobody says. You are Dad of the Year to hear. I'm so glad you took some time with us. Before we get out of here, just tell us real quick, is there anything that you have coming up that you want people to check out?
Yeah, I mean, after that somber interview, I promise you I'm really funny.
He is.
Meg just asked me all the questions that tug on your heartstrings, but
it's a mommy podcast.
Yeah, it's more than
we do. And plus to hear you never show this side of you, but this is it makes up a big portion of who you are, which is why I'm so glad that you showed your heart on our podcast today.
We need to see more of this though, especially in these times, you know.
Look at this lady like, whatever.
We do. Our Black men are full of love.
Right.
Full of love. Full of love.
Okay, yes. Where can we check you out? What do you have coming up?
Every Monday through Thursday, I do a show called Zooming with the Homies. It's like a late night talk show. It's me and like 4 to 6 guests, people that you may have heard of, people that you may not have heard of. Megan did the show this week. Yesterday, I had Avion Crockett on. I had Godfrey on.
Hilarious.
I had Leslie Jones. Next week, I got Chris Spencer.
Chris, tell him I said hi.
Okay.
Tell Chris I said hi.
Okay, Marisa.
He used to be my boss. No, he used to be my boss.
Okay. Yeah, Kim Whitley and David Arnold and some others. We got some big names stopping through. And Word in His Heart is out every Wednesday. We got a couple big names coming out. Both of those on my YouTube is youtube.com to hear more. And then, every Friday, me, Joshy Guns, and Tony Baker started this thing called Best Silent Listening Party. And we take an album or EP and we listen to it while you guys listen to it too. Everybody has their headphones. And then we break it down track by track, give it a rating, give it the overall album a rating. And that's every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So any day of the week, for the most part, you got entertainment for me.
Yeah. You are content goals for real.
For real. I'm so proud of Tahir. Tahir's always been a hard worker, so he deserves it. He's gonna be big stuff in life, you guys. Mark my words. He's a superstar.
Appreciate that. I mean, I told you, man, wherever capacity I'm working in, you're gonna be there too. So you better take out before I do, because I don't want to end up hiring you and then you telling me what to do, because that's what Meg do.
Well, that's what happens. So
I love all you guys. Like I be watching you guys, and you guys are really like a whole family. All of you guys. Just watching you guys interact, it's always so natural. That's what makes it enjoyable. You know, watching you guys can tell you guys like really love each other. I love it.
I know. I'm telling you, Tahir is like my real life brother, for real, for sure. Okay, but before we get out of here, we like to leave you guys with a little bit of inspiration called I'm Fine. So what do you have today, Marisa?
So I switched mine up just to go with this. I just felt like my topic didn't go well. I found this earlier in the week. It's from the Mommy Psychologist on Instagram. It says, the greatest lesson you can teach your children is how to be leaders who take a stand for what's right, those that aren't afraid to make mistakes, pursue their dreams relentlessly, and who live out their purpose with grace and humility. And I just think with this conversation, you know, you had so many struggles, and we all do, right? You know, and we have so many bumps in the road of our life, but we're just such a resilient group of people who, you know, overcome and use our faults for success, and who do it so gracefully, who aren't afraid to just share what we've been through to possibly help somebody else who is coming up in this world. So I just thought that was great with this conversation, and I appreciate you just sharing that story with us, because I hope one little boy hears that in this world and steps up and takes responsibility.
Me too.
Well, thank you, Tahir, for joining us. Thank you guys also for taking a break with us right here on Mommy Needs a Break podcast. You can follow us at MNAB Podcast everywhere. You can follow me, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop everywhere.
And I'm Marisa Johnson. You can follow me at She Is Marisa J. And you can follow us on, go ahead.
Go to our website, because it's bomb, mnabpodcast.com. And I mean, if you want to support a Black business or whatever, please go to our Patreon page. All of the links are below if you're watching this. We love you guys. And Tahir, where can they find you?
It's at Tahir More on all platforms. And if you go to my Instagram, click the link tree, it'll take you to my podcast, Damn Internet You Scary, with my co-host, Patrick Cloud. It'll take you to my YouTube page. You can see all the shows that I mentioned before. And all my merchandise is on there for Damn Internet You Scary, as well as Tahir Studio. All of the merchandise is right there. So
y'all go support him. Tahir is a mogul in the making. I'm telling you, he is I mean, I can't say enough good stuff about him. I love him. He's my brother. He is awesome. And he has gone through a lot in life, but the people who go through the most are also the people who get the biggest blessings. And he has a lot coming his way. So thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Mommy Needs a Break. Bye.
peace.